Hi, this is Kerry Artek with Wicked Stocks, bringing you the Daily SPY Report for Thursday, December 16th, 2021. Before I jump into today's charts, just once again, want to encourage you to please click like. If you like the Daily SPY Report, whether this is your first time or you watch it every day, clicking like each and every time helps me a great deal with regard to the Wicked Stocks YouTube web presence. And click subscribe. Subscribing to the Wicked Stocks YouTube channel will provide you notification each and every time new content has been uploaded to the Wicked Stocks YouTube channel. That includes the Daily SPY Report, the Daily Triple Q Report, at least one stock pick a week, so forth and so on. The Daily SPY and Daily Triple Q are uploaded generally by 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, Chicago, each and every trading day for the next trading day. So let's jump into the charts. Fed announcement. They are tightening, essentially, and will continue to do so well into 2022. This in an attempt to tame inflationary pressures. That was bullish for the market. These events, these Fed events, often have more than just a daily consequence. We could, and I think actually, and you're looking at the chart here, this was a pivot point here, a two-star pivot point, still is actually, but coming into Wednesday's and Thursday's trade, Wednesday's trade, this was a ceiling. Now it is a floor of support, 465.74, that can contain selling into next week, and above which we should, over the next week or two, possibly day or two, reach into the low 480s, where once again we find a long-term trend line. I'll be showing you more properly in a moment. But let's talk about the upside today itself. You've got 473.54 as the move high on November 22nd. I just show that as a soft sort of intraday resistance level. I'll show you the support and resistance in just a moment. That is an area that can contain initial buying pressures, and below which, or once tested, the market could within the day fall back to 465.74, which once again can contain selling through the rest of the week and into next, and above which I say 1 to 2 weeks, could be 1 to 2 days, could be 3 to 5 days, whereby we can and probably will push into the low 480s. Now, if we happen to push through 473.54, and we may actually open above that today, then this simple trend line across the tops over the last month or so at 478.01 is in reach today, where we can place a daily high. And if we close above 478.01, then that 482.80 long-term trend line is likely tomorrow. This is the way the support and resistance looks. I have a lot of minor points here between 465.28 and 473.54, including 470.74, which was prior to, well, actually still is technically the high settlement price so far. We did not settle above that. We did push through it yesterday, but we didn't settle above it. So, that's just a minor point. All of those are well suited for aggressive day traders, as I say. But if you're a swing trader, it's sort of right now buying pullbacks at 465.28 in anticipation of higher trade into next week. I do still want to caution you, though, about the Triple Q. It's got a pretty classic channel top today at 399.54 that can contain buying perhaps through the rest of the week. There's a lot going on there in the 399 handle. And so I think that is a respectable resistance area. And we may top out there in the Triple Q not only today, but through the rest of the week and fall off from there. So once again, if you're interested or you are long the SPY and you don't have an argument from me right now, especially above 465.74, then you've got some confirmation if we settle today above 399.54 in the Triple Q. The Triple Q then likely to reach that 414.68 long-term channel top once again by the end of next week. But that's intermarket analysis. If we're looking at just the SPY, we are constructive into next week above 465.74, and we could actually push into the low 480s by the end of next week. And that is nothing more, once again, than that long-term trend line projected off the August 2020 high. It's held highs nicely since the September high. Again, we tested it again in November. and we pushed it within 1% of it. And so it is there, as well as a new channel top that I've been mentioning at 485.34. So that area between 482.80 and 85.34, if tested over the next week or two, can contain buying through January, and from there we can fall off into later Q1 perhaps. Closing, though, above 485.34 at the end of any day would be considered a sign of longer-term bullish continuation, and I've shown this before, and I will show it again next week if we approach the low 480s, whereby we have a long-term channel top way above the market right now in the 530s that climbs into the 550s by February, and so that becomes our next big picture objective if we were to close above 585, 485.34. Back to support and resistance. If we happen to break 465.28 today, I think you should expect at least 463.36 and possibly 460.30. 460.30 is nothing more than the high of the low from about a week and a half or so ago. We fell back to it actually this week. We we did test it. It was 460.25 was the low. I had 459.91 as I recall as a 50% downside pullback. So we came very close to testing that on Tuesday. Wednesday we did not test it, but we weren't far off the mark. So what am I saying here? If we break 465.74, 460.30 is attainable today with this kind of volatility. And I think worst case, if we close today below 465.74, you can expect 460.30 tomorrow. So the way I'm framing the market now into next week, bullish above 465.74, anticipating the low 480s, and yet once again, want to see that triple Q settle above 399.54 to confirm as much, or at least support that move. And then I turn bearish into next week if we were to close below 460.30. 460.30 is also roughly a new short-term channel bottom. So if we settle below 460.30 today, that aggressively pivots the market south into next week. And I would then expect, under this kind of volatility, possibly within 3 to 5 days, the better part of 2 weeks at the very most, whereby we should then continue south to that 445.41 to 447.41 area, which is a narrowing band of channel support that, if tested over the next week or two, and once again, I don't expect it unless we close below 460.30, but if tested, the 440 is well suited to absorb selling through January, and once tested, we can push on up to new highs within a month or two of that. I'm going to leave you with the support and resistance for today. Once again, we're constructive, not only for the day, but into next week above 465.28. Secondary buying pressures emerge today if we push through that 473.54 high, 478.01, then anticipated on an intraday basis where we can place a daily high. And if we close today above 478.01, expect the low 480s, that sort of target right now, 1 to 2 week target within 1 to 2 days of closing above 478.01. And then downside, breaking or opening below 465.28, 460.30 in reach today perhaps, where we could also bottom out into next week, and that is our downward pivot point into next week. I think that's all that needs to be said for today's Daily SPY Report. Once again, thanks for watching. Please click like, please click subscribe. I will be back tomorrow for Friday's Daily SPY Report. You have a great evening.